Hello again, everyone. Saka here, and welcome back to another episode of NASCAR Racing 2003 season, the 2019 mod with the 2021 car set, and we are here for the second race of the round of 8 at Kansas Motor Speedway for 27 laps. Brandon on the pole in that Mountain Dew Toyota, and we're inside row 4 in our Critical Role Camaro. We have Kevin Harvick in front of us, to our outside Martin Truex Jr., and behind us Chase Elliott, who is in a must-win situation after last week. Did not even take the green flag, so Chase already on the back foot. Kansas very fast. Will be looking for a pit stop at around the halfway mark at lap 13. Green flag is out. Good roll on the bottom, and we can pretty much keep it pegged on full throttle, at least on this first lap going through turn 1 and 2. Harvick looking to the inside of Logano, try to force him out. Wash out just a little bit in front of Ryan Blaney. He rolls out and gives us the spot. Trying to get single file as much as possible. Hamlin to the inside of Brandon to lead lap 1, it looks like. Brandon fighting back on the high side, trying to keep that momentum going, and we are on the outside of Harvick, getting that pull down the front straightaway, trying to keep it pinned, and a lot of cars, very similar speeds, and just like Kansas in real life, it is going to be very hard to pass. Dirty air is the name of the game here, and if you really have to throw it into the corner much deeper than the guy in front of you if you want to make up any room. Ryan Blaney looking to our inside, thinks better of it, rolls the center a little bit better, and we leave him just a bit, but yeah, everyone's still within striking distance and making that engine scream going down into turn 1, getting everything we can out of the car. Brandon washing up just a little bit, scrapes that bottom of the chassis and slides up the racetrack, but carries that momentum on the high side. Hamlin still paces the field. Brandon trying to find a way back down to the bottom. Good run to the outside of Harvick. Once again, we'll take a peek to his outside. Ryan Blaney fills that spot that we left behind. Eric Almirola moving up, as well as Brad Keselowski. Throw a blanket over the top 5 cars, even the top 10 cars here, as the majority of the chasers are up here. Almirola looking to the inside. We'll have to concede that spot and roll this outside. Just nip the wall. Bad mojo. Yellow flag is out, and we were put in a bad spot as the rest of these guys go under us. So I don't know if we are within our pit window or not. Ideally, if we were running the whole race green, we would pit at the halfway mark, but if we can stretch it on fuel, we might just be able to make it. Let's take a look at that spin. So being pushed 3 wide, Almirola gets in line. We are way out of shape, and luckily we are pretty close to the wall, so that little scrape pushes up our deck lid just a little bit, but when we come down on this pit stop, we should be able to pound that out, and we don't look any worse for the wear. And on this yellow flag, it is a cluster and gaggle, and I figure that since we're going to be in the back anyway, in order to be absolutely sure we can make it, we are going to go around one more time and then put on our tires and fill up the car as much as possible. That will give us the best shot to make it the rest of the way, and we might be able to get away with some fuel strategy here. So we'll come down to pit road next time. So it looks like Quinn Houff is also sharing our strategy, but he just plain stays out completely. Denny Hamlin will lead them down. I'm not sure where Brandon will line up in the grand scheme of things in the top 5 for sure. I think that's him in second place, possibly third, but we are going to get our service. Of course, 4 fresh tires since we slid quite a bit through that turn, as well as pound out any damage that may be left over from the crash. Let's go, boys. Right sides are on, and you can hear the rubber mallet trying to pound our deck lid back into shape, and they're going green this time, so we'll line up in the back and get ready for this restart. And here we go, coming to lap 8. We're behind the 7 of Corey LaJoie, just waiting on that green flag to come out, and they are on the gas pretty quick, and it looks like Quinn Houff actually does stay out to lead the race, and that is going to choke up Denny Hamlin. Brandon to the inside of Kevin Harvick, and we have our work to do. But like I said, we are in a lap better position to go further in this race. We show 2 laps to the good on fuel at this point, so all we have to do is keep our nose clean, move forward as we can, and hope that the rest of them are going to be short to make up some positions. Also, we have 4 fresh tires working with us as well, so let's get into turn 1. We made up a few passes already. These guys going 3 wide, putting Chase Briscoe around, setting up behind Michael McDowell and Ross Chastain. And if these guys can run single file, then more power to me. We'll be able to actually set it up and do a little bit better. Tires are on the basketball side right now, trying to get the temperatures to come in and the pressures up. And once we do, I think we'll have a little bit of a hot rod. Qualifying up front, we're definitely faster than these guys over the long run. It's just picking and choosing where we want to move around the 77 Spire car there. And Denny Hamlin does indeed regain the point. And quite a cluster in the mid-pack for sure. If they slow each other down, we will be able to make up those spots, and it is a hornet's nest right there in the middle of the pack. So we'll make up these positions nice and easy. And once we get up to that hornet's nest, it's going to be very careful going. But these passes are indeed for position, and we are gaining points. We're not in the danger zone of falling out of the chase cut at this point. We just need to make sure that we take all the passes that come to us, and with them going 3 wide in front of us, these guys are not going to run away. So it looks like a possible top 10 for us today as of now, if none of these guys pit. With guys like Quinn Houff choking up the high line of Joey Logano and Bubba Wallace, that's going to help matters tremendously, as well as McDowell going to the inside of Chastain. And yeah, Quinn Houff is peeing on the wheels of progress in that top groove, forcing him to the outside 3 wide. So Houff will drop back to us very quick. That's going to be 1 spot. The leaders are pretty much single file with a few side-by-sides and a few off-lines. And the Hornet's Nest is sort of simmered down here, which is good for us. We don't have to worry about going 3 wide to make any passes. We just have to be smart about this, go to the inside of Chastain, who's being held up by the 00. 3 wide momentarily there. We'll clear the 00 and the 42, get a twofer, leaving turn 3 and 4. And now the leaders, because they are single filed, are starting to stretch it out, but we do have a little bit of competition right there in the midfield with Chase Elliott and Ricky Stenhouse Jr., for example, side by side. And that should bring this whole pack back to us as well. Trying to roll that outside, the 7 slow and the 34 slow, really choked up, can't get around either one of them, and Ross Chastain trying to take advantage of these slow guys, producing the rolling roadblock right in front of us. This is what I do not want to see. So McDowell will get by the 7, hopefully. We're charging to the outside of the 42, getting that pull off the 7, and finally we'll be able to make the move. Let's get down to the inside of turn 3 and pass Corey and set up for Michael, and indeed Corey poses no threat. Another position in the bank and some side-by-side racing in front. Looks like Ryan Newman up there with Martin Truex Jr. and William Byron, as well as, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. being pushed up wide on the outside of Tyler Reddick and Cole Custer. If those guys get together, that would be not ideal for us. Really nowhere to go on this track. It closes up fairly quickly. We were lucky to get away with just a scrape in the back on our last spin. But yes, indeed, this pack in front of us is growing larger in the windshield. That's what we like to see. Leaders have stretched out. Our only hope to pass them at this point, I think, is for them to come down to pit road. So if they did not get it full, or if they're pushing their RPMs a little bit higher than they anticipated, they will come down to pit road, and that will be great for us. Stenhouse pushed 3 wide again, and we are now in the thick of it. We have 10, 15 spots that we could easily make up here if we just choose the right line at the right time, which is racing in general, I suppose. But yeah, it looks like Stenhouse on the outside. We should be faster, but if we can roll that top, we can get to the outside of these guys. Nope. 4 wide, 3 wide. Luckily, Stenhouse had a little bit of momentum. He cleared that 3 wide situation. We got a twofer there on the inside of Stenhouse and a rolling roadblock in front with Logano, Reddick, and Byron. Yeah, Stenhouse has some horsepower on that outside for sure. We'll hold that bottom. William Byron way out of position on that corner, but he may get the pull down the back straightaway. We'll side draft a bit, see if we can keep him behind us, and starting to really sort out nice and easy for us up front. That's what I like to see. A little leery of these guys coming down to pit road, though. We do not want to be on the bottom when they slam on the brakes to come down to pit road, as, you know, no hands out the window. We can't anticipate when these guys are going to come down to pit road, so it's going to be surprise brakes, and that could very well end our day. Good run on the middle groove, 3 wide behind us, so really no pressure from behind from those Chevys. And just to the inside of Newman, there we go. Don't look like they're pitting this time, so we'll roll that bottom under Austin Dillon, get that pull from Stenhouse, try to help him pass the 3, and then we should be able to make this pass right here. Now, of course, Stenhouse is going to move down to block. Why wouldn't he? But we're clear to get up top, try to carry as much momentum that we lost in the middle of the corner. Leaders are through the middle of 3 and 4 by a country mile. So just looking to see if anyone at all comes down to pit road, not this time. So we have about a half a lap to try to make something happen before we get back to the top side. And luckily, William Byron has really fallen off the wagon, so really no pressure from behind. And if I see these guys start to make any weird moves down the back straightaway, like if they start moving to the left or looking left, kind of like Bowman is, I will give him a wide berth here, just to make sure they don't stop right below us. Plus, that helps us carry that momentum on the outside, and we'll get that pull off of Logano and the 17 as well, Busher. So, not bad, not bad. Ow. Okay. Keep it straight. We're not going to pit no more. We're not going to fix no damage. So hopefully that doesn't hurt us. It may actually help us in a straight line if we knock that inside in a bit. Okay, I don't like this at all. Logano looking up top and the guys on the bottom fighting and gouging. No takers on pit road this time. Looking to the left, nobody. In the middle, 3 wide with Bowman and Logano. Logano rolls out. We get that pull off of Busher. Can we put it? Oh, geez. Hang on to it. Ow. Hard in the wall. We all keep it going. Joey Logano with heavy right side damage, and that was a lot of people fighting in that hornet's nest. Let's get back up to speed. Come on, Austin. So we're not out of it just yet. We'll look to see if there are any takers and try to make up those spots that we lost. We seem to have some decent frontline speed. Dillon pulls us a little bit on the inside. We'll try to roll that outside. Dillon, wow, 3 wide and wasn't even told. Michael McDowell throwing it into the bottom, but we get that good run off. And yeah, looking good. Getting that pull off of Reddick. And rolling that middle, and indeed, there's the 8 coming to pit road. That is a pit road move, and the rest of them coming down as well. We stay out and settle in behind the 48 of Alex Bowman. So my plan is coming to fruition. We're not going to come down to pit road anymore. So those passes are done for this race. Let's see if we can catch Byron now that we have some clean air, but a lot of clean air in front of us as well, with just a scant few cars staying on the racetrack. This is why we went 1 lap later, and indeed there is Bowman to pit road as well as Kurt Busch. So there is Hamlin and Blaney with 1 lap to go. I can see the leaders, or at least the folks that were up in the lead pack, putting these guys a lap down now. None of these are for position. We just need to come back to the line. There's the Benedetto coming out with the 00, who stretched it out as long as he could. So essentially, everyone else pitted, and the 00 stretched it out. That may be a good run for Quinn Houff. We'll see where we all shake out, but we're going to come across the line. Kansas is done, and that will be a 5th place for us. And another bit of good news, Brandon won this race, which essentially locks us in on points now that Brandon doesn't need to fall back on points. 7th place was Kyle Larson. This is going to be a cluster. 3rd place was Matt DiBenedetto, actually. So 6th place, Almirola. Harvick 11th. Hamlin in 4th. Ryan Blaney comes across in 12th. Alex Bowman rounds out your top 10. We come across the line in 5th. Chase Elliott ends up in 14th, essentially making Martinsville a must-win no matter what. Kyle Busch in 17th place. And that's certainly a cluster to work out, but here's what happened going into turn 1. So just a little loose, Stenhouse gets into us. Logano, I don't know if we would have been able to save it if Logano wasn't up there, but he definitely impeded our progress a bit, but we got away with it a little bit better. But congratulations to Brandon, and we are 1 race away from the final cutoff. Speaking of that cutoff, Brandon has solidified his way into the Final Four, as well as Ryan Blaney with his win last week. With 45 points over the cutoff, no matter what, we point in. So it comes down to Denny Hamlin, Alex Bowman, Kyle Busch, Eric Almirola, a long shot, and Chase Elliott with a must-win situation going in to Martinsville. So next week, the paperclip where we determine who the final person to join, myself, Brandon, and Ryan Blaney, to run for the championship in Phoenix. But that will do it for me. Like, share, and subscribe if you are so bold. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next week for Martinsville. Take care.